All right, Joe. So how do we input equations and look at graphs, analyze graphs, etc., using our skill calculator, right? So the very thing I would recommend is always hit the on button, start a new document. If it's asking you to save, hit no. And we want to go ahead and add a graph, right? So in this case, our equation, you don't need to write y equals or f of x or even change the f, right? F of x is just a function notation. It's just the name of a function. It can be any name. So here our equation is negative x cubed plus x, right? So go ahead and graph that. And we can kind of get a pretty good estimate of kind of what the function is doing. So it's decreasing, increasing, and decreasing, right? So if we want to make tables, right? So by the way, how you make tables by hand is you literally plug in values in here and evaluate, right? For example, -1, you plug in -1, cube it as negative, negative is positive, and then -1 is 0, which looks like it'd be right there, right? And so you would have to do that for every single um, uh, point. And so we kind of get this table here, but it's not very accurate because that's 0, 0, 0. That's not telling us anything, right? So how do we change it? So you're going to go to make sure that you're on the table side. You're going to go to menu, you're going to go to table, and you're going to edit table settings. Now, for me, I was able to tell that it starts getting close to about -1. So I'm going to start at -2, and I want to tell my table I want to jump by 0.5 each time. And so we have our new table here on the right side. And if you notice, as we go down, right, so as we get closer to the right, we're going from big number, smaller number, smaller number. So it's decreasing, right? So it's decreasing, decreasing, still decreasing. And then it went from negative to positive, which means here it was decreasing, decreasing, stops decreasing, and now we're going back up. So that means my function was decreasing all the way to about -0.5, and then it goes up, and the reason I know this goes up because we went from a negative to 0 up to a positive, and then it goes back down. So that tells me that from about -5 all the way up to about zero point 0.5, my function was increasing, and that kind of follows what we have here in the graph. And then if we keep looking at it, we have, so it was increasing and then it's going back down to 0, right? Because we're going from a kind of a big or positive y value to 0, which means we were up and then now we're down and then it keeps going down, which kind of follows what we have here, right? So it was up and then it goes down and so on and so